Hello, everybody. This is Benny Hills back with another Modern Cube draft, and we have a pretty tough call here. So, good default if you're just wondering how to, come up with some shortcuts is to look at the blue cards. And there's only one blue card here, which in general is a good sign. But Brazen Borrower, it's good. Not really a card I want to first pick. Oracle of Moldiah is very strong. Um, and then I guess beyond that, there's just Figure of Destiny. I like this card a lot. I mentioned this in my Vintage Cube pick order video, but cards that are good in both mono red and mono white, like this and Smuggler's Copter, are really nice places to start. Hazoret's maybe better for the mono red deck, but this is more flexible. We could also just take a Bloodstained Mire. But I actually think I am going to go with the Figure of Destiny here. There's a good chance that, like, maybe Hazoret will wheel, and then we'll be like, okay, sweet, mono red is super open. Maybe, like, I mean, these white cards are pretty meh. Yeah, I wouldn't fault you for taking Mire, Borrower, or Oracle here, but we're going to go with the Figure of Destiny and see if anything looks like it's particularly open. So if we had gone to the Brazen Borrower, we could take a Remand here. Um, but I think we just take a War Boss. I mean, War Boss is a little bit better than Brimaz, I would say. Um, and it also requires less of a heavy mana requirement, so we could just end up in red-white, and in red-white, I think the card that costs 1 red is easier than the card that costs 2 white. We could maybe even wheel Obosh and get some spice going with that, but we'll see. I'm not going to pick that this early. Um, Also, I do like that this means there's, like, I mean, I guess Obosh is a red card, but, like, there's no card that would pull anyone into mono red in this pack, so maybe someone will take the Hazoret, but then be like, oh, no more red stuff, so never mind. Well, the red cards here I'm not a big fan of. Terror of the Peaks is a bit expensive, although it can be pretty sweet in some decks. I actually think I'm going to go with Kythian here. We could potentially try and just go Boros. Good one drops are super important and in aggressive decks, and this also fits Obosh if we do potentially end up with that. We do need to pick up a little bit of fixing to make this work, but we can do that probably. So I'll take the Kythian here. No blue cards. I mean, there's Hydroid Crisis, I guess, but it wouldn't have looked great if we had taken the Brazen Borrower into Remand for this pack. I guess if we'd gone like Oracle into something into like Courser, then that's a pretty nice start for green, but blue is not looking particularly open. Ooh, okay. Definitely got to just snap up the Sacred Foundry here. Journey to Nowhere and Selfless Spirit are both solid options, but I I so rarely go multicolored in my aggro decks, but if it's open and you can pick up the fixing, it is really good because neither red nor white really have enough one drops to make aggro decks like tip top ideal. But if you can play the best of both, I mean, I guess right now these could both be mono white, but like, we could also pick up like a Zergo or whatever. And if you have access to the one drops of both colors, you can have a turn one play much more consistently. So Sacred Foundry is pretty much the perfect card for us to get. Well, I think we should take the Abbot here. I do sort of think it'd be fun to make Obosh work, and like we could pick up a sword or a Heliod, but those are both a decent amount worse than the Abbot. Even if you just play this on turn 2, it's fine. It's just a good threat that can hit for 3 or even more often, and is hard to block profitably. And then later in the game, it can be a source of card draw that's also a good threat. So I do like this card quite a bit. We don't have any spells that trigger prowess yet, so I'm not gonna like change my pick order around this that much. But if we also got like a Swift Spear and a Soulscar Mage, then we might start prioritizing non-creature spells, especially non-creature ways to make creatures. I forget what it's called, that 3 mana enchantment that makes 2/2/2, stuff like that. But we'll just take the Abbot for now. Ooh, so now Rekindling Phoenix is medium, especially if we are in red and white. I would like to think we can get better 4 drops than that. A Braid is a pretty good removal spell, but I think we should just take the Thraben Inspector here. Just keep the 1 drop train going. And we would like to get a couple fetch lands to pair with a Sacred Foundry, but yeah, I would love to be able to make this work. Okay, so I think we should take the Glorybound Initiate here. Oust is a good removal spell in some circumstances. Like if your opponent just plays an 8/8 Verdurous Gearhulk, then that can be pretty tough to deal with. But giving them life is not great for this sort of deck, and this is also just a pretty good creature. Any card that hits for more damage than its mana cost is good, and this costs 2 and hits for 3, and then also has some nice upside. I guess Murder's Redcap is also worth mentioning, but again, like, when you are playing two colors, you can afford to have much better cards at most points along the curve, and I really want my 4 drops to be either like Chandras or Gideons, like good planeswalkers that are hard to deal with, or hasty threats like Hazoret. I think we'll just take the Lightning Helix here, actually. It's a good sign that this is going so late, and also we don't want to give this sign to someone else. I mean, Flame Slash is fine, Avalanche Riders is fine, Pirate Spellbomb, Kitchen Fix. It does look like red and white are the most open colors, I would say. So pretty happy with our choice, and let's go with the Helix. There's some builds where like I guess we could just go mono white and like cut these red cards, but like the red cards are good and red is clearly open, so I think I'm not really looking for a way to pivot into just monocolor to this point, so we'll take this. Sort by converted mana cost. Ooh, so now we have to decide between Incinerate and Hazoret, and I think Hazoret is just a bit better. This is maybe the best 4-drop. It's super, super good. And especially since we just picked up a Helix that's just a much better version of Incinerate, I think Hazoret is the way to go here. Great sign that that's going so late. Okay, I mean, none of this is really great for us. We'll take the Obosh. It's unlikely that it happens. I'm not going to go super out of my way to make it happen, but hypothetically, I could imagine picking up a lot of 1s and 3s and wanting to go into this. Okay, well, the red and the white has dried up a bit. We'll take the sword because that's a decent sideboard option. Selfless Spirit's a good one. Pretty happy to get that. It doesn't hit for more than its power, but it has evasion, and giving you insulation against board sweepers is really nice. Okay, another sword. These are two of the worst swords, but between them both, I mean, Tarmogoyf could be good, but I don't want to splash a third color. Between these two swords, we have protection from, I guess they do both give white, but we could, we'll bring these in matchups where they're good. We also could just pick up a late Stoneforge Mystic in packs 2 or 3 and throw that in here, which would be pretty nice. So yeah, I would say I'm very happy with the start. We have 8 good creatures and the best dual land possible for us, and one of the best burn spells. It's tough to say if Lightning Bolt or Lightning Helix would be better for us, but definitely a strong start. All right, we'll take the Endmaking because it's more castable, but it is a little bit unfortunate not to see any like really late pick red and white cards. That could be a sign that we're not the only one drafting one of these archetypes, but I don't think anyone's drafting mono red because Hazoret would have gone earlier, and I mean, just no one drafts mono white, so I don't know. Maybe these cards are just getting picked up randomly. Yeah, I mean, last pick, playable card. That's good, I guess. But hopefully we will not be playing that. We already have 9 cards that are significantly better. Okay, this is pretty tough. We have a pretty solid 2-drop, a pretty solid 3-drop, and a removal spell that's a little bit hard to cast, but very good if we can. Since there's only 1 white card we want in this pack and 2 red cards, we could also play the Reflecting Pool, but we're going to be playing a low land count. I don't really want to have lands that don't do anything if they're your only land. So I think what we should do is that pick the Thalia and then wheel one of these two. If we pick one of these two, there's a chance that both of the other 2 cards we want get picked. So that would be definitely a bummer. This also gives us the slight Obosh value, but we have more even cost than odd cost, so that's probably not going to happen. Yeah, hopefully we can get one of these on the wheel. We can play the Obosh even if we don't have the companion thing, but it's pretty bad. Yeah, it just costs way too much. Okay, so Nahiri is actually in our colors. It's not really the 4-drop you want in this sort of deck, though. It doesn't really push damage. It's more of a control planeswalker. So it's really between Seasoned Pyromancer and Flamespell, both of which I like quite a bit. I think Seasoned Pyromancer is a slightly better card overall. But Flamespell, since we don't have much burn right now, I think Flamespell is a bit better for our deck. But it's also more likely to wheel. Like, this is not great if you're not a fairly aggressive deck. It's also a little easier on the mana, though, since it is looking like we're likely going to be a little heavier white. This is also just a good pack, though, so that makes both of them a little more likely to wheel. I think I am going to take the Flamespell. I'm not sure that this is right, but it is important to have a decent amount of burn in these sorts of decks, and this does that. Okay, I'm not a big fan of tap lands, and this one doesn't even help us, so definitely not picking that. Thundermaw is probably the best 5-drop. It almost always hits for 5, but it is also a 5-drop. I think I would actually rather Lava Coil here. And hopefully it will start on the board. I think it will, but there's some matchups where that'll be a great addition. Okay, so lots of deep, reasonable cards for us here, but I think we're just going to take the Clifftop Retreat. I'm not really worried about playables here. There's also tons of spells, so it's very, very likely that something will wheel. I mean, like Magma Jet or Pia or Ranger of Eos would all be great, or even Archangel. But I think mana is just the most important thing to get here, so I'll take the Clifftop Retreat. If there was an elite 1-drop, I would consider taking that over the land, but any card that's not a 1-drop, I think you got to go with the mana fixing. Oh, wow. Well, all right, so 2 of the best 4-drops and a City of the Brass. I think we just have to go with the Chandra, though. I know I just said that I want the mana. I guess we could take the City of Brass, and then someone will take the Chandra, and we wheel the hero. Chandra's just so good, though. It pushes through damage. It can win the game on its own. It can be removal. But we're so confident that one of these red cards is going to come back, right? I can't imagine them both getting taken. Whereas if we take Chandra, I mean, if we take Chandra, there's a good chance these both do get taken. Let's see. Right now we have 11 spells that we really want to play. Yeah, I think we're going with the City. This is tough. Chandra is maybe even better for the deck, but like the card we're going to be cutting for the Chandra is going to be really good. Oh, wow. Okay, I think at this point I actually am going to take the Ajani, even though like it has a decent chance of wheeling. If someone picks up the Nahiri, they're likely to take the Ajani, and it's also just like it is quite good. And then like these are both solid, but I guess we could even go with the Eidolon, but I think I'm going to go with the Ajani here. The fact that it can just be a burn spell, just come in and immediately hit for 3, makes it a lot more appealing as a 4-drop than something that doesn't have that immediate impact. Okay, I think in this situation I'm actually going to take Glorybringer. Clarion is interesting. It could be, I mean, the sweep, we don't really want to sweep away our own creatures, but it could be great in a racing scenario. But I actually like Glorybringer quite a bit. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with here. So we got a lot of early 1-drops, but we're a little bit weak on 1-drops now. So hopefully we can fill that out a bit with some of the red 1-drops. I mean, I would also take white 1-drops, but we already have a decent number of the good white 1-drops. Wow, that is a late Teferi. That is pretty painful. And in fact, I actually think we might just take it. Like Explosion, you can expansion to copy a burn spell, but that's pretty medium. Bonfire is good in some scenarios. No, we're not realistically going to be splashing blue. That would be our only blue card. Yeah, we'll take the Bonfire. I don't really want to main deck this, but in matchups where they have a lot of 1-toughness creatures, that can be pretty nice. And I do think in general, like this sort of deck, will be pretty good against control, I think. But then other small creature decks that are going a little bit bigger could be tough. So nice to get stuff to hedge against that. Oh, man. That's super bad. Okay, so Karzev and Searing Blaze both got taken from this pack. That's actually very surprising to me. I actually think I will take the Reflecting Pool here. It may or may not make the cut, but I think Blessed Alliance is pretty weak for us. And now that we have, 3 duels, so a Reflecting Pool becomes a bit better. Actually, never mind. I think we will go the Blessed Alliance. That's at its best if we already have a dual end, and if we already have a dual end, we're fine. Oh, man. Wow, how did blue get so open? We'll take the Realm Cloak Giant, I guess. But, well, I thought our colors were very open, and now it looks like red is more cut than I thought it was. So we might have to go a little bit bigger, but Thunderball and Glorybringer is a nice top end. Ooh, Ranger of Eos is actually quite good. We already have 3 good 1-drops to get, and we can get more. So this is, all right, Hero came back. That's good. I would prefer Chandra, but this is fine too. So this is looking like it's going to be a little bit bigger than I thought that we were going to be starting. I do think I would prefer to be a little bit lower to the ground, but this is still pretty good. But yeah, best case scenario is we can fill out 1 and 2 on the curve a little bit more. We have 16 spells right now, so we can be a little bit, we can make some cuts. If I had known we would wheel the Ranger and the Hero of Oxid Ridge, might have taken, either Tithe or the, I I forget what that 2/1 dude that shuts down planeswalkers over the Ajani just for curve purposes. Someone did take the Nahiri. Oh, History of Benelli. That's the card I was talking about earlier. Okay, I think that actually is also just the pick. We're a little bit light at 3. We have a lot of 4s. The mana stuff doesn't really help us. Yeah, I think it is just this. A little bit tough on the mana, but we have 3 dual lands already, and we could also pick up a 4th, and this is just a very good card. Puts 4, like, I mean, yeah, on turn 5 you can just hit for 8 just with this card, and do we have any other knights? That's a soldier, also a soldier. Okay, maybe we actually don't have any knights, but if we do get any knights, that's some upside. Alright, I think we should go with the Beaumont Courier here. There's a ton of white cards in this pack, so we're very likely to wheel one of them. And Beaumont Courier is pretty nice. I guess, Hazra is a little bit awkward with our higher curve here, but, and same with Beaumont, but I just want to take the 1-drop. Okay, Soulscar Mage. Unfortunately, Misty Rainforest does not help our mana, but I'll take a good 1-drop. Vanishing Light is like, we would maybe play. It'd be a good sideboard option at least, but definitely not taking that over a 1-drop. Alright, very, very happy to get back-to-back 1-drops. That makes the curve look a lot better. I would still like potentially 1, and honestly, ideally 2 more 1-drops. But if we have to go with 5, that's okay. Like, we can have a good Boros aggro deck with only 5 1-drops. Alright, I'm going to start cutting the cards that I would prefer not to play. I think both of these dragons, even though they are so good, like, we just don't really want our curve to go to 5. So yeah, I mean, this seems reasonable. We could pick up 7 more cards and then play 16 lands. Ooh, well, this is a dual land, but it enters tapped and it's pitted against 2 excellent cards for us. So I think we are going to go with a spell here just because, I mean, also both of these 1-drops could get taken. Which would we prefer to play? I kind of think we would prefer Isamaru because we don't really have a ton of ways to fill our graveyard. We have a very high creature count, and so we won't have, and we also don't have like fetch land for Lavamancer. It's also slightly more likely to wheel because I think it's unlikely to wheel, but there's a chance like someone will take the Mizzium Mortars over the Lavamancer and we could get him back. So I think we will go with Isamaru, although this is very close. It's painful to have 2 elite 1-drops in the same pack. I would rather either of these cards over like almost anything we could realistically get at this point. So that is unfortunate, but we'll take the Hound. Ooh, okay. I'll take an Aurelia. This is actually a great 4-drop for us. Yeah, I think this card is awesome. So pretty happy to get that. Okay, so now we can actually pick up a Stoneforge Mystic. Or actually, there's a lot of good cards here. Our swords that we have are not very good. But I still kind of think we should... Yeah, they definitely are the 2 worst swords. But I still think that's the right pick. I mean, we could also take Dismember just as a really cheap removal spell. We could take Phoenix of Ash. There's actually a ton of good cards here. You know, maybe I actually will just take Dismember. Sorry, a lot of switching there. But we don't have much creature removal. This is very efficient, and the downside is negligible. And one of these white cards is pretty likely to wheel. Yeah, I actually think I am going to take this Dismember here, as weird as that may seem. It just lowers the curve in a nice way. Oh, well, sort of regret it knowing that we immediately would have gotten his Shadow Spear. But is Purphoros better? Or even Scrapheap Scrounger? I think Shadow Spear is probably worth taking. Scrounger is fine, but we're not really worried about, like, this is like a solid playable. And I'm not really worried about, well, Purphoros I think is worse because we have so many 4s. We have a really high creature count. Yeah, I think we should take the Shadow Spear. Ooh, so Crasher versus Revoker. That's pretty close. Crasher is more expensive, but I do like how it can push through damage. I think we're going to go with the Crasher here. Alright, this was our first pack that's pretty bad for us. If we take in the Scrounger, we could go with Lava Claw Reaches, but I think I'll take the Creator's Claws. Okay, how good is Elspeth? And how good is Venerated Loxodon? I think the Loxodon is a bit better for us. I just don't want to have too many 4s, and this is like, it looks like a 5, but it's not really. So let's see, right now, I guess if the draft ended right now, well, alright, we'll take Dreadbore. None of these cards are getting played. I think that pack actually had something we wanted to wheel. Okay, bummer. We're not getting really late pickups here. I would love to get at least one more good card. Okay, Crater Maker, sweet. That's perfect. Just fills out the curve well. So it looks like we're not getting, yeah, no Stoneforge Mystic on the wheel. I think I like the Harvester a bit better here just for the aggro mirror. I don't really want more top end. So I actually think this might be a 17 land deck, even though it is pretty aggressive because it is 2 colors and we have a lot of 4s. So I think I'm just going to do this with probably just 6 and 6. We'll see what they recommend, or 7 and 7. Then that's 10 sources of each color. We only have 1 card that needs red mana on turn 1, and we have 3 cards that need white mana, so that is something. But then we also have like a lot. I mean, yeah, it's just pretty balanced throughout the deck after the 1-drop slot. So I think we're just gonna go even split. In fact, that's even what they basically recommend. So if we do this, then against aggro, we can side in Blessed Alliance, Lava Coil, Glorybringer. We actually have a great sideboard against aggro. Shadow Spear. And then against control decks, I mean, we're sort of just pre-boarded against control decks. I guess we could bring in like a Thundermaw or a Glorybringer for a Dismember. Yeah, I think this deck is sweet. And I don't think, this is one flaw of playing 2 colors. We can't really play Westvale Abbey, whereas it would have been great if we were mono red or mono white. But I think this deck is very strong, actually. So we'll see how it goes. I still do, like, even though we did end up with 5 1-drop, I guess 6 1-drops, actually. I would love, like, a Goblin Guide or a Swift Spear, but I can't really complain with 6 1-drops. This curve is pretty nice for making sure we can curve out well. Still a bit heavy on the 4s, and we'll probably cut the Ranger of Eos in some matchups, but not only can it just get a bunch, it has, like, a lot of options to get, but it has some that scale very well. Like, getting Figure of Destiny in the late game is awesome, and then with Thraben Inspector and Beaumont Courier, it has good access to card draw, and Kythian can just be like a great indestructible threat. So Ranger of Eos does look pretty good in this deck. I guess it's too bad we don't have Giver Runes, but yeah, I think this deck is pretty great. Really excited to see how it plays, so I'll see you in round 1. Hello, everybody. Here we are against Skizix. Yep, Skizix. And luckily we are on the play, so we will be going first. And this hand is pretty good. We don't have a 1-drop. But we have perfect mana, which is really nice, and we have a good 2-3-4 curve. And if they're playing against, if they're playing a creature deck, then Dismember on 1 could be nice. I would love to see just like turn 1 mana, dude. Oh, this is awesome. So we'll lead on Plains. Doesn't really matter, but I think Plains make them slightly less aware of what we're doing, and also slightly more, like, less concerned about like a bolt or something. I don't think it actually matters, but if most decks can be sort of summarized with the essence of 1 color to some extent. Ours is more red, I would say, just like red being hyper aggro, and so playing the land that signals less of your core theme first is, I think, nice. Oh, this is so awesome, dude. I'm really glad you'll be watching this. I do hope you lose this round, but then I hope you win everything after that. So I think we're just going to go in Glory Bound here. First of all, give them a bit less information. They don't know that their colorless permanents are at risk, and it also just hits harder. Pretty nice to see no Mana Tithe there. Oh, blue-white. So we will start by hitting for 3. We could just spam and go 1-drop, 2-drop, but I think I would rather just get the History of Benalia down. Oh, wait, whoops. We do not want to exert attack. Yep. Do they have, like, Blessed Alliance? Petty Theft. Okay. That's pretty good. So, well, we could dismember in response. We're not going to do that, but that is a play I'll at least mention. That would turn off their 3-1. I think we actually do want to just double spell now because I really don't want our opponent to just go Teferi, bounce your token, and then just like have an uncontested Teferi. So I think we're just going to go Initiate plus Thraben Inspector here. It's important to have 2 threats down against this sort of deck. Like, you really need to be able to pressure Planeswalkers effectively. Do they have the Teferi? They do not. Alright, land would be nice for Ajani, but it's not necessary. Okay, so we'll just attack for 4 first and then play the history. So, we do run slight risk of getting blown out by a Wrath of God if we just play the history of Benalia here, but I don't think playing Drellic... I mean, I've said this before in my videos. People play too conservatively against control. I could just, like, let them have a bunch of draw steps, but that's not going to go well for me. If they counter this, they counter it. Okay, they do not counter it. Well, please don't go Plains Wrath of God. If they play the Brazen Borrower, that's a good sign, because it means they... I mean, they wouldn't just do that if they're going to immediately sweep away their board. Okay, nice. So, yeah, I mean, we have a nice board here. We're hitting hard. They should just attack, yeah, because it cannot block. This can only block flyers. So we fall to 17. They could have a Verdict and just not have the mana, or a Sweeper and not have the mana, but we'll see. So, alright, I would have liked to have drawn a land there. Ajani would be quite good. Well, I think we're going to start by attacking with everyone. Still not exerting. Do not care about my life total, and this might not get another chance to attack, but I'm still hoping it will. Oh, do they have Resto? Okay, so that we will dismember. And then I think we're just going to crack the Clue. Alright, dismember proving its worth immensely here. That's very, very good for us. So they take 6. And yeah, our board is plenty thick. We don't need to worry about Kythian or anything, so I'll just crack this Clue in case we hit a tap land, or really just any land. Sacred Foundry. Alright, we'll just get that into play tapped and pass the turn. Having just paid 4 life, my life total actually does matter slightly, so I'm not going to shock just to bluff there. So now we have a huge attack coming in. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, potentially 13. So they really have to do something here. Hopefully they don't have Cryptic. Okay, tapping out. Jace. Alright. So that's probably just going to have to bounce one of our tokens. Well, actually, definitely have to. We have lethal if they don't. But even if they do, then we can still hit for 9 that they can't deal with. Or 10. Actually, wait. 4, 8, 9. Yeah, okay. So if they bounce a token, we don't have lethal even with the Ajani minus. But we can make a big attack and kill their Jace and then tap down their planes. So we don't need to worry too much about a sweeper. Alright, good play from the opponent there to get rid of the token. We take the 3. Alright, so this... Ooh, Selfless Spirit is a nice one. So, I am going to kill the Jace. Wait, 4, 8, 9... Oh, wait, no. Now we can kill them because... Wait, how do they... I don't know if I miscounted or what, but now we can kill them. Yeah, that's... I thought the Electro was a little bit higher than that. Well, we'll go all out of them. I do want to... I guess they could have... No, they can't have Pact of Negation, so this should be good to go. So they go to 1, and then Ajani finishes them off. Oh, wait, yeah. Jace, yeah, okay. Makes sense. Alright. Wait, but that, I just said... It makes sense in my head, but don't edit that out. Alright, so Ajani the face, and that's game. So we're playing against Blue-White Control. They have some very powerful cards. Very good to know about Resto, just for playing that around at in this match. I don't really want to cut Dismember because of the Resto. Are there any other cards that we don't like? I don't think I want to bring in one of these swords that gives protection from white. Yeah, honestly, all of these cards are pretty good. I guess Venerated Loxodon really encourages us to overextend a little bit more than I'm comfortable doing, so I'd rather have something with more of an immediate impact. So I think I'm going to put in Thundermaw for that. Glorybringer is also good, but like we care much more about the life total than the creatures, and this hits for one more and can also just like kill Brazen Borrower. Yeah. Flame Spill seems okay. Dolly seems a little awkward. We didn't see any non-basic lands, but it still just hits for 3 and can do some good work, so we'll keep that. I just want to... So, this is the deck we want to play, but if we wanted to go with the Obosh Companion, I just want to see if we could pull it off. So, we'd have to cut 10 cards. Then we could add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, couldn't. I mean, I guess 9. We couldn't really do that realistically, so no Obosh. Sorry. Oof. Well, I think we got to ship this. I mean, we have good cards, but we can't just have a mono expensive card. And yeah, I'd rather this, even though it's like pretty weak, but we need to play the board in the early turns. They'll definitely beat us in the long game, even if we have some nice 4-drops. So, ooh, Triome, that's pretty snazzy. Spell, nice. That's even especially good on a mulligan. So, ooh, if we could just go 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop into Hazoret, that would be ideal. So hopefully we can draw something to cast this turn. Alright, well, I said they had only basic last game. Now they're mad that I disrespected their mana base. Okay, scrying 2 instead of gaining 3 life. That probably means that they're either mana screwed or mana flooded. Ooh, alright, well. We could do a bluff attack, but I don't think that's worth it. It's pretty likely that they would block. Because, like, I mean, yeah, we could burn their face and then we get to eat their Charming Prince, but that's not that amazing. Wow. Really okay, our opponent's deck is awesome. I'm a huge fan of it, even though it is sort of rocking me right now. Where was that last turn? That would have been perfect. Alright, well, I'm still just going to get this down. Triggers Prowess so we can hit him with a Soulscar Mage. Boom, take 2. The fact that we're drawing first blood on turn 3 is not a great sign, but we've got some heavy hitters in here, so we can do damage in large chunks. No play is good. Thraben Inspector, okay. I don't think I really wanted to play Hazoret here for no value. So we're going to attack. Do we just, like, max extend, I guess, is the question here. Oh, they block. Interesting. I think I'm going to start by just playing Thraben Inspector and cracking the clue and then see what we draw. The clue does make Hazoret a bit worse, but I think we're trying to play Thundermaw before Hazoret. So the fact that I'm a little scared of a board sweeper, I kind of don't want to play the Figure of Destiny. Yeah, I think I'm just going to pass here. It's close. Oh, do they have Fact or Fiction? Oh, man. Well, this is going to be an uphill battle, for sure. So, this coming up in 3 turns? Okay. Realmcloak Giant is the card we care the most about. I think we put these two together. There's a chance they won't have the lands for the Realmcloak Giant. Oh man, this is so bad. Also, dealing with Approach of the Second Sun could put them low on win conditions. Man, I don't really see a good way that this goes for us, but I think this is the split we're going to go with. My guess is they'll take this pile because they have another land in hand. Oh, no, they did not take the board sweeper. Okay. Well, hopefully that doesn't mean they have another board sweeper. There's a Shelldock. Okay. Wrath of God, it looks like. Alright, this is going to be pretty tough, but we can go either Thundermaw or Hazoret Figure of Destiny. I think Hazoret Figure of Destiny is a bit better. Oh, wait. No, Hazoret won't be able to attack this turn. Right? We'd have 2 cards. So I think I'm just going to go Thundermaw and hit for 5. So they're at a virtual 20 because they have 7 points of life gain coming up. The fact that it's possible they really need this approach, and they're pretty light on win conditions. Oh man. Well, I guess we get to keep our Hazoret at least. Land would be actually surprisingly nice here, because it would let us attack with a Hazoret. Okay, so land, Hazoret. Now, do we want to just play both of our creatures? I kind of think we do. Oh, actually misplayed there. I should have played Figure of Destiny first. I don't think it'll matter, but in case they had a censor, I would rather them censor the Isamaru. So even if they have a board sweeper, we still have Hazoret in play. And we have a good mana sink in the Figure of Destiny. We also have this clue that they gave us. So we're not in horrible position. They are about to draw a bunch of cards with the Ancestral, and that'll turn on their Shelldock Isle. Oh, is this Arresto? Or Sphinx's Red for one. Oh, Shark Tank Spoon for 2. Okay. Well, that's pretty good against Isamaru. This game is close. It depends a lot on what they draw off of this Ancestral. If their best play is Approach, we can win. But if they have, like, Board Sweeper, Path your Hazoret, and then just have, like, a million things, and, yeah, I mean, we're probably behind, actually. We're probably, like, 28% to win. This is also a situation where I'm sad for playing 17 lands. Okay, so they're casting this. That probably means it's a Planeswalker, because that's the main thing you would want to use on your turn. Oh, Wall of Omen. Okay. That's pretty good. Don't be like a giddy. Okay, cast out. That's bad. That's definitely bad. Hazoret was our main route to victory there. Non-land. It's a bummer. Well, we're going to start by cracking the clue. Wow. Okay. Do we attack with both? I think I am going to attack with both. If this trades with a shark, it's not going to do better than that down the road, so that's fine. Okay, so we're just going to pump this up all the way so this trades. And I think in one of my videos, our opponent learned the hard way that you have to make that a 2-2 before you make it a 4-4. You can't just skip straight up, so this happens. Now to clear board, except our Figure of Destiny. I mean, is there any incentive to holding lands? No, but there's also no incentive for playing them, I think. Is there any way we could ever get back Hazoret? No. I guess we'll just play lands out then in case we just, like... I mean, I guess we could draw, like, that 4-drop Ranger of Eos and want to also level up Figure of Destiny or something. So they have 7 cards. We are about to have an 8-8 with flying and first strike, so that's pretty cool, I guess. But if they have, like, a removal spell for this, then we have literally nothing. So, would not say I love our chances here. This is a situation where I really wish we were playing something like a Crater's Claws in our deck. Six mana, what is this? Like, hopefully it's not like a Frost Titan, or I mean Sun Titan. Oh, 7 mana? Approach. Okay, sure. I mean, that's best case scenario. It's pretty good, but, like, we already knew they had it, so it doesn't change anything. If they have a path, I'll probably just concede, but if we get in the hit for 8, that's pretty good. So, do we play around Tide? I think I am going to play around Mana Tide. I guess, actually, we didn't need to play... We could have played Kythian and then pumped this, so we actually didn't need to play the land, but whatever. So hit for 8. So this is a lethal attacker now. And I think I am going to drop this Kythian, even though we don't have mana to give it indestructible right now. Like, if their play is just to be chump blocking the Kythian, or the Figure of Destiny, I would love to be able to also chip in some damage with the Kythian. We don't have much burn to finish them off, unfortunately. Hopefully they don't have a third board sweeper. Terminus. They have a third board sweeper. That is a bummer. Man, that's actually... This is a nightmare matchup. They have tons of board sweepers and like great mana. I mean, their deck it just looks amazing, honestly. So we just pass back. We're just gonna die to this approach pretty soon, I think. Okay, Jace. If they Fate Seal, I'm gonna concede, or rather, if they Fate Seal and keep it on top. Okay, they put it on the bottom. So I guess we're hoping to draw like Ranger. I was literally gonna say that. That's awesome. So we'll cast that. I'm just gonna play the land. I don't see much value in holding it, and I mean I don't know. Maybe they have like Condescend. Oh yeah, actually perfect with Condescend. So we can grab both of those 1-drop they just got rid of. Would we rather Beaumont Courier? We definitely want Figure of Destiny. So the question is Beaumont Courier versus Kythian. I think I would rather Kythian. We can't attack this turn into their Colonnade either way. And I think like this being able to get indestructible is pretty nice. So Figure of Destiny and Kythian. It also gives away slightly less of our deck. Not that that's super relevant, but it's something. So we'll play that. Okay, now actually, do we have enough mana? If we play this Kythian, do we have mana to fully pump the Figure of Destiny next turn? We actually do. It would cost 9. So we have enough. So we can play Kythian, and we have mana to give it indestructible, although if they have a 4th board sweeper, I'll be very furious. Restoration Angel, okay. I have not been keeping good enough track of their approach count, but with the Jace, it's not looking good. Fate Sealing us again. Okay, that I disagree with because I think they should probably Fate Seal themselves to draw towards the approach faster, especially since we already have a mana sink that could theoretically tie up all of our mana. Oh. Okay, yeah, there's pretty much no way in 100 years we can win this match. I mean, this game, certainly, or just this matchup in general, I think. Unless they, like, really stumble. They just have such good tools against us. So, we can turn this into a big boy. I guess. I mean, how is there any way we win? We can attack with everything. They just. No, we're dead. I guess if we just attack with a Figure of Destiny and they chump with a Lyra, we could maybe win. If they're playing around like a Bolt or something. Yeah, Thundermaw's gone. That's our one major out here. They don't block. Okay, then we're dead, actually. Yeah, bummer. Well played, opponent, and also just your deck is amazing. I want to be playing your deck instead. That doesn't do anything for us. Now that they actually have so many angels, that's pretty brutal. Maybe Sword of War and Peace is good. But no, I think we're just gonna run the main deck and hope that they don't. We have like decent answers to their planes or to their flyers. Yeah, we're just gonna run this, and man, that was rough. Triple board sweeper. That is painful. Okay, great hand. This hand is phenomenal. So we can go City of Brass, Isamaru on turn 1. Turn 1, 2 power. Turn 2, 3 power. Turn 3, Creator Maker. Hopefully another 1-drop. Turn 4, win with Hazoret. That's our game plan. For all of the power of their deck, it is a little bit slow. And that game we got off to a bit of a slow start, but this is certainly not a slow start, and so we can curve out well. Land isn't amazing, but it's not terrible. Again, we're going to play the Glory Bound just to get in more damage now. I think this game we're basically going to try and go under their board sweeper instead of playing around it. Like, we could try and keep a modest board and then reestablish afterwards, but I think I'm just full on push damage mode at this point. Hopefully they don't have a petty theft. Okay, that was actually a great draw. So Clifftop Retreat, attack with both. Potentially, hopefully they're keeping a hand that is basically just has turn 4 Verdict, and we can win on turn 4. Condemn. Bummer. Okay. I mean, that's bad, but it's actually not too bad because Condemn also could have dealt with our Hazoret, which we can drop next turn. And now our Hazoret will hopefully have some free reign. Although, again, another, like, just issue with this matchup for us in general. They have a surprising number of answers to Hazoret. So next turn we can play Hazoret and hit for 10. Hopefully they don't have a counterspell. I'm not going to play around anything. The Crasher is a pretty good top deck for, like, if they sweep the board, then we can still have a nice attack next turn. But we really need this Hazoret to resolve. We haven't seen Counter Magic yet. Okay, good. They also might have just cut Counter Magic. I don't think Counter Magic would be particularly good in this matchup. So we attack for a bunch. This is our perfect draw. We've curved out as well as we possibly could. So if you're watching this, Skizix, just know, I think you would win at least 65 games if we played 100. But luckily, I've just had the exact perfect draw for it. So if they Wrath, we can win. I mean, we don't even need to play any other spells. We can just discard with Hazoret. So they need something better than a board sweeper. Yeah, I actually think there's no way out of this. If they Miracle Terminus, then that would get them out of it. But without a Terminus, I think we're good to go. Yeah, I mean, you'll see this later, but I'm not just saying this. I actually think your deck is absolutely phenomenal, and I wish you the best of luck in the rest. I hope you get that 2-1. All right, that was a really awesome opponent. I like playing against them a lot. All right, so tough battle there. Our opponent's deck was sweet, but we managed to take it out. So I'll see you in round 2. Hello, everybody. Here we are for round 2 against Gasotamu, and we are on the play again. They rolled a 1, so that's some weak sauce stuff over there. Ooh. We can't keep this. The mana sucks. We don't have a creature till turn 3. This member could be a mulligan already. Okay, this hand is much better. So we can keep and put back, I think, the Loxodon. And then hopefully draw a 2-drop, and then draw a land, so we can just curve out perfectly. Kytheon is, I guess Isamaru is probably our best turn 1 play, but having a turn 1 play that hits for 2 is ideal. Okay, no land, but that's a pretty good draw still. It'll be an interesting choice between these 2 3-drops next turn. I think we'll go with Athalia, though. Nice. Really happy they didn't have a play. Ooh, War Boss. Okay, that's actually better. We're going to go with the War Boss now. Man, lots of blue-white opponents. Do they have the Censor? Essence Scatter. Okay, well, that was going to get us no matter what. I guess I'm a little sad because that's probably the best of the 3-drops, but it's okay. Thalia of their own, huh? Well, that actually really shuts down Uncrop Crasher. That's actually, yeah, that's, I've never seen these 2 cards played in the same deck. I would not recommend it, but it's working out well for our opponent here. We can attack, and if they block, we'll just give it Indestructible and kill their Thalia for free. I would rather be able to play this Ranger of Eos, but I think killing the Thalia without expending a card is worth it. Okay, so they just take it. That's nice. Now we can drop this. And which one of these do we want to grab? I think Figure of Destiny and Thraben Inspector probably. Bromot Courier is way worse when it enters tapped. Isamaru is, I think, just not that impressive against a 3-2 first strike. Yeah, I think these 2 are the right moves. Slight upside also is that, I mean, these are not the best draws. Like, actually, I was going to say I want to draw lands to keep curving out, but I'm not even sure that's true. Oh, man. What kind of deck plays all these cards? That's a ridiculous set of things to be playing, but it's very good against us. Okay, well, we are going to attack with neither, actually. I want to flip the Kythian, so we're just going to play 3 creatures. So, Thalia, and then both of these. And now, hopefully, next turn we can get off a nice attack. I guess we could have also played the Crasher, but I think I would rather get the Thalia down and just make sure they can't expand the board more. Now, next turn we'll be able to flip our Kythian, and hopefully we'll be able to give them not the best blocks. Okay, very, very happy to see that. I don't like that attack. I don't think they're the aggressor here. I mean, I don't know their deck as well as they do, but what's their play here? Spark double? That's, oh, copying Whirler Rogue. Wow, okay. So this is just like blue-white mid-range that's just going over the top of us. Yeah, this is not looking good. Alright, well, I think we just go, I guess I'll play land, and then go to combat and attack with everything. Actually, do we want to attack with the Thraben Inspector? They can just eat that with a Whirler Rogue. Yeah, that doesn't seem worth it. I'll attack with all of these. So these are going to trade. We'll have to pay 3 to get that indestructible. I think we're just going to play the Crasher rather than leveling up the Figure of Destiny. Oh, they're not blocking that. Oh. Interesting. That's a good... Actually, yeah, that's a very good block by our opponent. So, we will just do this. Yeah, I really want to keep the Kythian, so we're going to lose our dude. So we do this, get this indestructible. They take 6. Kythian flips, so we can untap our, probably Thalia. So, yeah, give Thalia indestructible and untap her, and then pass back to the opponent. They can't kill in the air. I mean, actually, I guess they could, yeah, we're almost definitely going to lose. I mean, yeah, it's definitely not looking good. But on the bright side, we do have some nice tools, specifically Bonfire. I think this card will be, oh, a Bonfire and Thundermaw both seem incredible against our opponent. So they're going straight to combat. They could attack Gideon with Thalia, or like with one of their 3 power creatures and 1 Thopter, and then tap the 2 Thopters to give it indestructible. Oh, everything at us? What? Wow, that is so aggressive. Okay. Please tell me they don't have another way to clone Whirler Rogue. No play. So this really looks like an Archangel Avacyn to me. Hopefully we can draw Dismember. Hero of Oxid Ridge. Well, that can't do anything, so that's a bummer. We're like 99% sure they do have the Thalia, or the Archangel Avacyn. So I think we're just going to play 2 creatures and then just pass. So we'll plus this to make Whirler Rogue attack Gideon. And then just cast both of these things. Again, with no attack there, unfortunately. But next turn, giving Battlecry could be pretty huge. Best draw would be Lightning Helix, because we could Helix the Thalia and then play Crasher and have it work its magic. No attacks. They play their Avacyn. Yep. Oh, wait. Oh, my gosh. We should have attacked... well, it's actually close. We probably should have attacked with Gideon. I forgot that it was entering tapped. But I think we still probably should have attacked with the Gideon. So if we draw a removal spell for the Thalia, we can win. Oh, wait. This would be amazing if they attacked with the Thalia. Yeah, that would be super, super good for us. Beautiful. Okay, yeah, they're really not playing optimally here, I think. So, yeah, okay. So first of all, none of these can block. So terrible call to leave all of those back. Second of all, it's free to kill the Gideon, pretty much. So you should kill the Gideon. Third of all, you shouldn't let us kill your Thalia. So I think our opponent really misplayed pretty badly there. I don't care about this because Gideon is going to survive either way. We could double block it and trade Ranger with that, but I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to trade Thalia so that we can attack with a Crasher. Now, I don't know what they have in their hand. They might have something that I'm not thinking of, but... Oh, wait. Whoopsies. Okay. Yeah, that was bad. I forgot about that ability from Archangel Avacyn. Okay, so yeah, that was a misplay. Well, we would have lost either way to that. What does this do? 3 damage to each other creature and each opponent. Okay, I'm just going to concede now because we are just dead. If we hadn't blocked, we might have had a chance there. But I guess, yeah, this would enter tap. So what would happen? So I'm just going to concede to save time. But now I'm going to look at what we could have done. So they would have 2 blockers. We would turn this into a creature, attack with everything. They can't block with any of these. They block the 2 things that deal the most damage and take 4. Yeah, they would have just lost. We could have won. That's frustrating. So, yeah, we would have won if I had misplayed that. Sorry about that. Hopefully we can do better in this round. Although, again, much similarly to last match, I think this is a pretty horrendous matchup. Like, Whirler Rogue type cards are just so good against us. I mean, like, pretty much every single card they played just, like, contributes to the board in a way that's hard for us to deal with. Man, I'm bummed about that misplay. So we'll bring in this and this for sure. Do we want any of the swords? I don't think so. All of our haste creatures are pretty bad against Thalia, but I still think I'm not going to cut them. To lower the curve, I think I'll cut the Loxodon again just because it's not essential, and I do want to keep the curve a little on the lower side. I kind of want to cut one of these expensive cards. I think I'm going to cut a Johnny. Actually, no, I'll cut Ranger of Eos. It's not really about... no, Ranger is pretty good. I'll cut the Johnny. They have decent ways to pressure Planeswalkers, and I would rather have fewer 4-drops. Okay, great hand. So our plan is to play... We're likely going to go with Thraben Inspector plus level up Figure next turn. So we'll play Figure first so we can get in for 1 extra damage. And I would like to get the City of Brass into play before their Thalia, but we'll have more opportunities, so we don't need to do that yet. Basic Island pass. Okay, so land Thraben Inspector. Thundermaw was a pretty bad draw there. What would that have been again? A Loxodon? Yeah, I think I would have rather draw a Loxodon here. Level up and bash for 2. So, do we play around them having Essence Scatter here? We could just level up our Figure of Destiny and attack. I think I would rather... I'm just going to make them use it, though, if they have it. And I guess the other question is, do we care about this 1 life enough to... I think I will just play this, actually, in case... I do want to be able to use all my mana every turn with, like, Figure of Destiny and with the Clue and with a 5-drop. Like, there's a good chance we'll want to use all of our mana every turn. Do they have the Essence Scatter? They do, so we got sort of punished for that, but I still think it's correct to play it there. Do they have a Thalia of their own? They have a Plains and nothing else. Okay. So, land and I'll attack. So the most mana efficient play would be to use Crack the Clue plus Helix this turn. But I think I would just rather level up the Figure if we can. Ooh, actually. Yeah, I am going to do this. We could get blown out by a removal spell. So if I didn't have the Thundermaw, I wouldn't do this. But, like, if they do have a removal spell, I want them to hit the Figure of Destiny, not the Thundermaw. Okay, so They didn't have anything. We got to hit in for 5. They probably have Whirler Rogue here, but then we can play Thundermaw. Oh, Sower. That's fine. We can just Lightning Helix that. I guess the question is, would we rather Lightning Helix or just Thundermaw right now to get in some guaranteed damage? I think I will Lightning Helix that. So we'll start by cracking a clue. Okay, now I'll go... Do we care which one of these is down? I guess Isamaru, because Kytheon is better overall, but like we're not going to be protecting Kytheon anytime soon. So we're going to main phase Helix just so we can get in that extra 1 point of damage. And then, actually, oh wait, I forgot we would have an, okay, never mind. Since we can flip Kytheon next turn, we actually do want the Kytheon down. Forgot we were getting the figure back, so we hit for 1 and pass the turn. And now our opponent is in very bad shape. I mean, they could have a board sweeper, but I would be pretty surprised. They're playing a lot of creatures for that. Okay, yeah. So that game, they were just a little too slow. So they have Sower. That doesn't really change anything. I mean, we could just bring in Glorybringer and try and go a little bit bigger. I kind of feel like it'll be hard for us to go bigger than them, but maybe that is right. Glorybringer is pretty good against a lot of the cards we've seen from them. I think that's better, actually, than something like a Crop Crasher. Like, it's so bad against Thalia, and, like, they have flash blockers, and, like, this is better against green decks, where they're going to have just, like, one beefy ground blocker, and they're tapped out, they can't do anything to interact with it, and that just won't really be the case here. Do we want Lava Coil, too, actually? We probably do. This is siding us into a bit more of a controlling deck, but I think that's probably merited here. We could cut... Actually, I think we're going to cut Hazoret. With a bit of, like, we're on the draw, so it's harder to empty our hand. We have a higher curve. They have good chump blockers, so I think Hazoret is just not really the name of the game in this situation. Well, this is not a fast hand. But I think I'm going to keep it. Yeah, I think I am going to keep this. I can see it going either way, but we're not, like, especially on the draw, we're not likely to be able to just all-out blitz speed them like we did last game. Okay, yeah. If this Lava Coil is a good card on turn 2, then we have a decent curve. Okay, and a Crater Maker even. All right. So we'll pass back. We'll probably want to play Crater Maker over Lava Coil next turn, although, actually, if they just pass like this... Okay, now I am just going to Lava Coil this, I think, just because they're very likely to have Essence Scatter. There's a world where this comes back, like, if they just play a Brimaz or something this turn, then I'll regret that. Oh, Spell Pierce? Wow, well, darned if you do, darned if you don't. We can, I'm still not too worried about that, though, like, that we're taking hits from this Kytheon, but that's not going to swing this game. Geist of Saint Traft. Okay, well, hopefully Crater Maker can block that well. So we're just going to play 2 dudes and leave them both back on defense. Yeah, I think I would still rather play these 2 than Dismember something. Although my Life Total is under a lot of pressure, so Dismember is looking worse than I would have thought it would. Last game there was a very clear aggressor, and there is 2 this game, but it's switched. Teferi, okay, so they can bounce our Crater Maker and attack with both. We're taking a lot of damage here. So I don't really care about this Teferi, so I'm just going to block here instead of using the Beaumont to kill the Teferi. So we block this. Take 6 down to 10. And then I think we're just going to play Aurelia, because it's just, like, beefier than the Crater Maker. We can't hold a Dismember either way because of Teferi. Okay, best draw would have been another 2-drop, so we could really hold on the fort against this Geist, but this is fine. So we'll play Aurelia. Oh, man. Aurelia can give Vigilance to a creature, but only if it's white. That's oh, are you kidding me? Okay, well, I think we're just going to lose now. They've really had the nuts against us. Like, their counterspells have lined up super well. Yeah, yeah. Man, I hate just playing against all these blue-white decks. So, now we're just dead. I mean, we could play Glorybringer and trade with a flyer and take 2, but we certainly lose from that situation, so we're done. That's a bummer. Well, was not expecting for them to have that aggressive of a draw. I think we were well set up for the long game. Like, if they don't have this one Geist, I think we can pretty easily win with this hand, but they did manage to take us down. That was a weird match and a weird deck. I've never really seen a deck like that work well, but it seemed like theirs was pretty good. I mean, Geist into Whirlrogue is actually sweet because then you can give your Geist unblockable and just be hitting for 6 unblockable every turn. So maybe Blue White Tempo is actually the best deck in the format, but regardless, we unfortunately did fall to it, and I'll see you in round 3. Hello, everybody. Here we are for round 3, and we are on the play. That's a good run of winning the die roll. We're 3 for 3. Hopefully we can secure the 2-1. And this hand is definitely a keep. We don't have a 2-drop, and we're a bit light on lands. But if we draw, like, pretty much any draw in our deck is good here. Like, a land or a 2-drop would both be great. Okay. I mean, we can't play anything this turn, which is annoying, but we have a lot of good plays lined up for turn 3 and beyond. And we can at least dismember something, potentially. Hopefully they play a creature that trades well with Dismember, just like a 2-mana 2/2. Stoneforge Mystic. Well, not exactly what I had in mind, but that's not terrible. Oh, they failed to find. So they might have a Batterskull in hand. We're definitely killing this now. And then the question is what to play next. I kind of think I want to play the Thalia because it could mess up yeah, I think that'll just make blocking pretty hard for them. And I'm just going to preserve their life. They might have a Thalia of their own, but I don't really care about that because we're playing a 3-drop next turn either way. So let's get this down. And now between the Thalia and the Uncrop Crasher, it'll be very hard for them to block for quite a while. Wow. Esper, okay. Dark Confidant. Well, that's not that bad at all for us. Ooh. Do we just jam everything? That seems a little greedy to me. I mean, we could, yeah. I think we just play History of Benalia, hit for 5. I mean, how likely is it that they have a board sweeper? That doesn't seem that likely, right? Let's see. So, well, first of all, if they don't have a board sweeper, are they just dead? Next turn, we can hit for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 10. Okay, if it yeah, then we actually should. That makes a very big difference. They also could just kill themselves with the Dark Confidant, but we'll do this. No board sweeper, please. Disallow. Well, that is not going to be very good here. All right, well, they could have one. Even if they do, we can haste hit them down. Oh, what? Well, that definitely means they have a board sweeper. I'm still going to take it, I think. Yeah, I'm still going to take it, but there's no way they would make this attack if they don't have a board sweeper. Oh. Okay, never mind. Got max punished. I still think we should be good to go, but I did get punished there. I mean, what? I guess. Well, they hit 2 creatures, but they both enter tap. So actually, yeah, this is fine. We still win. All right. Well, I mean, not too much to say about that one. We played our cards and it was good enough. They just conceded without us even showing them the hasty boy. Okay, I'll take a lot of free information. So they have, Sword of War and Peace gets protection from our entire deck. Well, from the early start, I thought it was some sort of aggro deck, but it looks like it's more sort of blue-black control splashing white. Should be a phenomenal matchup, I think. Especially, like, if Stoneforge Mystic can't even get a Batterskull, then, yeah, I think this should be pretty great for us. So do we want to make any changes? I don't think so. These swords don't really cut it. I want some removal, but I want it to be instant speed for the shinobi. The dragons are fine, but I want to keep the curve down. I guess. Yeah, I think we're good to go. We haven't seen anything that Thundermaw kills, and I mean, we could cut the Venerated Loxodon. We haven't really used this card very effectively yet, but I think I am going to cut it. This card is good in some circumstances, but it really makes you overextend. Like, it's at its best when you have 5 creatures on the battlefield, and then, yes, it puts 9 power onto the board for no mana, so that's insane, but you have to overextend to make that happen, and I just don't know if that's something we want to force ourselves to do in the color that has, or the deck that has access to both black and white board sweepers. Well, definitely not the best hand, but I think I am going to keep it. These 4s are both quite strong, and if we didn't have the Crater Maker, we would have to ship it, but if we have one play, at least in the first 2 or 3 turns, that's good, and we're very likely to draw more cheap plays, like this 1-drop. Ooh. Well, that's worst case scenario, for sure. I mean, well, I guess it's City of Brass would be worse, but drawing a land there is not what we wanted. Delver. Wow, I was not expecting a Delver. Well, that's a good answer to a Delver or something else down the road, but for now, we're just going to be dropping this Crater Maker. So I would like to prevent Shinobi from hitting the board, so we might have to Helix this Delver next turn. Do they blind flip it? I played this card in Legacy where over half of your cards flip it. Okay, I was going to say, if they flipped it blind, I would be pretty annoyed. So this does not produce white. I wonder if they actually have green mana or if this is just a blue-black duel for them. No attack. Oh, wait, yeah, that makes sense. Well, drawing another land is a true disaster. Boom, take 2. Do they flip? I guess. Actually, no. There's no world where we would need to kill it in their upkeep. I'm not going to let them get to blocks. Usually I do like to do that, but not here. So we will Helix. We could also go for the Crater Maker, but I'd rather keep the pressure down, especially since we're about to play the hero of Oxid Ridge. No play. Interesting. Well, do we go with the hero or the ranger first? I think I'm going to go with the ranger. I guess Ranger's better against the board sweeper. They could easily have a counterspell. I mean, we know they have Disallow in their deck. I think I would slightly rather them counter the hero. We're actually going to go with the hero. Alright. F6, do you have anything? Boom, hit for 7. Nice. So we actually have lethal next turn with the Glorybringer, including lethal through an attacker. They might just rather board here. Oh, no play. That is weird. I'm not going to go for the Glorybringer attack. I think we're just going to go to combat. Yeah, no need to get too frisky. Well, they're down to 4. I think I'm just going to pass. I don't really see any need to extend anything else. Yeah, we'll just pass. No play. Okay, well, that was not the most exciting finale. We sort of just completely ran over our opponent. I think this deck is really good. It's a bummer to have lost that middle round. That's a tough matchup, I think. Like, the classic bad scenario for aggro decks is when your opponent's also playing an aggro deck, but just one that goes a little bit bigger than you. And that's what happened there. So, like, we couldn't really go under them. I mean, especially in Game 3, they went under us. But we just couldn't really ever get an even footing. But good result overall, 2-1. I think aggro in Modern Cube is quite a bit worse than it is in older formats, which is sort of funny because, like, your card quality, like, this card quality is much more similar to the card quality of an aggro deck in Vintage Cube than like a blue-white control deck is to a vintage cube blue-white control deck. But this is still quite a bit worse because this is the meta. Like mono white is so good in vintage cube because decks are not built to beat that. They're built to have like they're like crazy combos and like pay a bunch of life for fast mana and like have game breaking things that just but they're not really ready for just like a bunch of 2/2s. But the modern metagame or modern cube metagame has a lot more creature removal, a lot more mid range, a lot more just like 2/4s that can block your 2/2s. So I think aggro is just not very well positioned in the modern cube in general. But I mean, like you beat decks like the third one. I mean, greedy multicolor control decks, which are good in vintage cube, are also somewhat good in modern cube, and you can beat them pretty consistently. So maybe it's not always bad, but I'm not always in general a fan of aggro and modern cube. But we got a pretty sweet deck and managed to get a 2-1, so decent result. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.